We now turn on to our spotlight segment, and today we have a special guest, and I'm talking about our friend Zülal from Turkey, the lady from the From Your Eyes. And Zülal, we're glad to have you in here. How are you doing in Turkey? Let's
Oh,
do a
thank you
little
so
well
much.
check.
First of all, hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you, and thank you so much for your invitation. Maybe I can also introduce myself. Maybe I can say a big hello from Turkey.
Absolutely. So you go ahead and say your name correct because I know I have a
Yeah.
tendency of messing up names, and
Okay.
I don't want to mess up a lady's name, for example.
Okay, Zülal. Actually, my name is Zülal. It's kind of an interesting name, by the way. And the meaning of my name is water, the clean water, in Arabic sense. So yes, I can explain like this.
Good. And the good thing is that we have Karen from Lebanon, so she understands Arabic as well. So if
Really?
I'm, yeah, if I'm messing up, she's gonna correct me here.
Okay. Good.
Well, welcome. And we want to talk about your app. And we've been wanting to get you in here. It's like trying to court a woman. Sometimes it's kind of a little bit difficult to get her to say, yeah, I do. Finally, you said, yes, I do. No, to be actual, you are very courteous. The very first time I reached out to you, you agreed to come out. And so I'm so thankful that you did that.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Yeah. So we're talking about your app, and it's called From Your Eyes. And
Yeah.
what is From Your Eyes? Kind of get our friends or our listeners up to speed as to what From Your Eyes is. And then we'll talk about some of the features and what it does and does not do and all of that.
Okay. First of all, maybe I can introduce myself to everyone actually. I'm founder of Promare's application. By the way, I'm totally visually impaired at the same time. I was a low vision child until 2011, and then I completely lost my vision. Based on this, I started to use the assistive technologies such as Seeing AI, Be My Eyes, and the other apps actually. And I saw that we used artificial intelligence or we used volunteers. But there was no application which provided me fast and qualified descriptions with the cooperation of artificial intelligence and humanity. Based on this, I started to develop my own app which is From Your Eyes actually, and we make a cooperation in our application in order to provide more fast and qualified descriptions to the visually impaired users. With that's why actually maybe I can also make a summary in the process of the From Your Eyes. When you upload a photo to the application, we directly give you a kind of an AI description actually in an AI template. If you think that it is needed to be improved by the human, actually, you can also send them to the descriptor of the applications. By the way, there is a good news. Everyone also can be a volunteer of the Promare's application. So we call them the descriptor of the application. They look at the photos and the descriptions of the AI. They make some improvements by typing and resend them to the our users actually. By doing this, we train our artificial intelligence service and feed our visual library. Maybe I can also talk about especially accuracy. As you know that if the artificial intelligence is accurate, actually, it means that it gives you, for example, the over 90% accuracy. Our model give you the 94% of accuracy, by the way, in the artificial intelligence service. On the other hand, you get the OCR part from the application. And as you know, if the accuracy is high, we can also say that in the Microsoft, the accuracy is 80. But in our application, we can also give the descriptions with the OCR over 85% with the accuracy, actually, which means that, yes, we could train our artificial intelligence service with the cooperation more accurate than the normal ones. By the way, I am student ambassador of Microsoft at the same time, and barrier breaking female leader of Microsoft. I took some responsibilities in Singa integration to the Turkey and other applications. And then I saw that there is a new way to develop our technology and increase our accuracy on the artificial intelligence service, actually, by using the cooperation with the human, actually. Yeah.
You know what I really like about you? You have passion, and to have a young lady being passionate about what she does, I think it's very important. You bring that passion to your app, and that is absolutely beautiful. And the most important thing here is that you yourself are visually impaired, and therefore you know where it hurts. And I
Yeah,
always say, we know where it hurts, and we know how to go about correcting those areas that hurt. And so we are so thankful for what you are doing and bringing all of that passion on there.
you're
So,
welcome. Mhm.
we're glad to have you. So let's talk about some of the things you've mentioned, some of the things it does.
Mhm.
And so this is more or less like Be My Eyes, yet it's not like Be My Eyes because it's
Mhm.
a little bit different. And
Mhm.
um, the whole idea is image recognition, right? It doesn't
Yeah,
do, text recognition, right? Let's get that out of the door. Does it do text recognition?
yeah, it does. It
It
does.
does
It
text recognition. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We give them from just the panel actually. You don't need to go the other panels in the application. You just take the description of actually maybe the letters or the of an image actually. It doesn't matter for us.
So in other words, we don't have like different modes, and this is something I've always been talking about. I got to jump into this mode, jump into this other mode. Whether
Yeah.
I'm in Lookout or in Vision or the Seeing AI you mentioned earlier
Mhm.
on. I have
Yeah.
to switch to modes in order to get access to those things, and I've always said that sighted people, their eyes is their eyes. They don't have different modes of the eye, So when you put a text in front of them, they recognize this is text.
Yeah.
And when a
Yeah.
cat is in front of them, they recognize a little kitty. Talking about kitty, my daughter
Yeah.
got a little kitty, nice little cat. So we don't need this mode, and yeah, I've got to go switch to this mode and go switch to that
Mhm.
mode. And
Mhm.
frankly, I think I like the idea of all inclusive. I don't need to be switching mode. So this is
Thank you so
absolutely
much.
beautiful. Yeah, I think
Actually, yeah.
was well
Good.
it was well thought out for you to do
Good.
it that way.
Actually, I have a favorite qualification in our application. The feature, maybe I can say like this: the positions of the objects. Actually, as you know, when we, for example, want to give a get a description from as an artificial intelligence service, actually, we need to discover the every detail of an image. For example, when we recognize an image, we need to, for example, know the positions of the objects or of the other elements on the visual. We can also give the detailed information on the visual based on the artificial intelligence service. For example, the positions of the objects or positions of the letters. It doesn't matter for us. Text, actually, maybe we can say that. You can also get the text and objects positions at the same time from the visual. And you can also put a title and archive this in your application, so you can use the Premiere's application kind of an drive service, by the way, which means that you can also have an access to your, for example, more accessible gallery parts in your application without putting any effort. Actually, that's an good way, I think, in order to archive some memories or some important details in your app. By doing this, by the way, you can also export your photos or the documents out of the applications with the text, with the descriptions or without descriptions. Again, it is up to you, by the way. And the most beautiful thing in our application is the customization service, by the way. You can also customize your artificial intelligence service according to your prefers, because we analyze your data at the same times. By reading your data, actually, we can analyze that what is your, for example, prefers by taking an descriptions, and which one is enough or which one is not enough for you. By analyzing your data, actually, we can also give you the most accurate descriptions. Even though we upload the same photo with you, Warren, we cannot get the same description in our applications, which means that it is according to your prefers, it is according to your personality, it is according to your identity. Because our main purpose is to create your best and unique actually assistant. So From Your Eyes is an assistant for the visually impaired users, because our main purpose is to keep your time is on actually, and not to waste your time by asking, by typing, or other detailed information to our application. And this is the most unique maybe value of the From application. You don't need to ask anything. You don't need to add anything to artificial intelligence service. Maybe we can talk about the GPT-4 session if you want, based on your questions, by the way. And this is a new feature, by the way, with the GPT-4 session. And we have a new feature in our application as well, because we trade our artificial intelligence service based on our video library, and then we are going to implement our artificial intelligence service to the GPT-4 API by doing with our, by the way, customization service that we created. By doing this, we have an opportunity to identify our data, analyze our data actually more efficient, in order to give you more detailed information and more detailed descriptions based on your maybe prefers or the previous maybe descriptions that you give us.
Wonderful. That's very good. And so you mentioned some things here about personalization. Basically, one personalizes it to his or her liking, or it basically takes what you have and customizes it for you. So each individual is kind of like a different individual and all of that. Now, is this all AI, or is there any human intervention part of it?
Yes. Yes. We have AI and human the cooperation right now in our applications. When you send a photo to the application, first of all, you get a description from the AI part. And if you press not enough button, it is sent to be to our descriptors of the applications, who are the volunteer part of it, and they improve the descriptions and resend them to you again. Based on this, actually, we collect the data of the AI descriptions and also the volunteer descriptions. We make an harmony and train our artificial intelligence service. For example, we have some data in our applications, such as, for example, which widgets was sent by variant to the descriptors of the applications, which texts were opened, for example, in this image. By doing this, we process our images and texts, and we use them in order to train our artificial intelligence service more, actually.
So is this app free or does it cost something?
I get your question. Thanks so much. It is free right now. You don't need to pay anything, because our main purpose is to, for example, create the technology for blind. Actually, is free, affordable, because as you know, some of the assistive technologies are so expensive, so everyone cannot reach them. So we don't collect any payments right now on the applications. Yes, we create some business models, but right now they are not based on the application right now.
Fantastic. And because, cost is usually part of the experience. And to create something is not often cheap. And so to hear that at the moment this is free for a blind user, I think that's a very good, encouraging thing. And even if you decide later on, we can sustain this without some payment of some sort, then maybe you guys could think about, how to go about subscription models and all of that. But I think that for now, the most important thing is that you guys are concerned about access, for people with disabilities, especially the blind, and making it possible for us to have those access without, payment. I think that's a very good approach for the time being.
Yeah, exactly right. Because I'm also a visually impaired people's person, actually. So I know that the assistive technology is maybe supposed to be more affordable for everyone, because we use them. We really want to try the new technologies. If, for example, they are expensive or something like that, we don't have an opportunity to, for example, improve our life quality, actually. And that's an important part by developing the technology.
I have a question about the functionality of the app.
Mhm.
just how it behaves when you're using it. Does it do the calculations on device in real time as you're scanning, or do you actually have to snap a photo and upload it and wait for the result
Mhm.
to come back?
Right now, you need to take a photo from the application or upload a photo from your gallery parts. But in August, we are going to implement our computer vision service to the applications actually, which means that you don't need to take anything. You just need to keep your camera to the object that whatever you want to take actually. And so you can also get a description from our application. But right now, you need to take a photo or upload a photo from your gallery.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. I mean, even once you implement the real-time stuff, like it's still you're gonna get the better result by uploading the photo because
Mhm,
you can only do so much on device. So
mhm,
yeah, that makes
mhm.
sense.
Okay, so first I want to welcome you, a warm welcome. I'm so glad when I have uh, a lady talking about technology because stereotyping. They always say that we ladies are nothing for technology, So yeah, so welcome. And then
You're
I have
welcome.
two questions.
Mhm,
First one is related to privacy.
mhm.
That a blind person sometimes may take a photo which is not really, it may contain some details that shouldn't be uh, present with people or something like that. So
Mhm.
in this case, can the person or is the photo only shown to the AI model,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
is
yeah.
it shown also to the human volunteers?
You don't need to show your photo to the volunteers for every time because we have two sections in our application. The first one is the AI section. If you think that it is needed to be shown to the artificial intelligence service just actually, you can send them to the artificial intelligence service in order to recognize them, in order to identify them maybe. And if you think that it is needed to be sent to the descriptors of the application, you just need to press not enough button. If you do this actually, we can send them to the descriptors of the applications. Without
Uh,
doing this, nobody can see your photos actually.
and for how much time the photo is stored in the
Hmm.
database?
Actually, normally it is up to your prefer, by the way. For example, if you delete a photo from your archive actually session, we directly delete your data from our database at the same time. But if you don't delete it actually, we don't have any limitation. We can store our data at the end of the maybe the world or something like that.
Okay, so the last question, which is small one, it's
Okay.
just something related to sharing from another applications.
Mhm.
So if I want, let's say, to share directly from WhatsApp,
Mhm.
can I share directly the image
Yeah.
to the application?
Yes, yes. You can do on the Android part right now. You can share the photos from the other applications. Uh, on the iOS part, by the way, you are going to do this when we solve and default actually from our application. Right now, you can, yes, you can upload the photo by using the Android system actually.
Ah, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And therein is the superiority of the Android system. Hmm? Just saying. Ah.
Can I also ask something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I'm so then glad that we have the technology coming from Turkey. I'm more than glad for this, which
Thank
is
you so
something too
much.
proud for us.
Thank you
And
so
I'm wondering about the volunteers part. Are there enough volunteers if you want to ask volunteers about the photo? Because, I mean, a volunteer part is also important if
much.
AI part is not enough. Is there
Yeah.
enough volunteers? And what about the countries of volunteers? Do we have enough
Okay.
volunteers for now?
That's a great question, by
Yeah.
the way,
Mhm.
and maybe explain a bit detailedly by on this side actually. Right now, yes, we have enough volunteers because we create a system in our application. It's kind of a system that, for example, you make a request in order to get a description from our application, and which is English, by the way. Let's think that you upload a photo to the application, and you need to ask, you need to, for example, get a description from a volunteer and you create a request in English. It doesn't matter actually. It's meant to be all of the volunteers of the applications. It doesn't up to the, for example, the language of it, because we have a translation API in our application. It means that it directly translates your request to the all of the language of the volunteers actually. And if they type anything, for example, different than English or something like that, we directly translate them to your own language. So we solved the actually volunteer language problem in our application. So it doesn't matter actually. From all of the countries, you can also log in to the application and download our application actually, because we develop a kind of a technology like this. It's kind of a global one right now.
So how someone can be a volunteer if they want to be a volunteer for the app?
By the way, everyone can be a volunteer because when they download the app, actually, first of all, they see a screen. There are two registration part of the application. The first one is visually impaired users part, actually, and the second section of the screen is the volunteer and descriptors section of it. When they press to the descriptor button, actually, they can easily register to the application.
And finally, what happens, like, for example, I'm a blind person, but what happens if I accidentally press I'm a volunteer button?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Right now, probably you directly log into the application, register to the application, because we don't have a limitation. What is the main reason of this is because everyone wants our application right now, especially in Turkey, because they really want to try the visually impaired users and the descriptors part at the same time. So we don't have any limitation right now. But in the near future, we are going to put a detector to the application which detects your screen reader, kind of voiceover or the talkback actually. But right now there is no limitation, so you can look at the volunteer part at the same time if you want.
Wonderful. I like the sound of it. Now, there's something that blind people often have problems or struggles with, and most especially, some of us are not all that spatially aware. And so, when it comes to taking pictures and all of that, they kind of like that guidance. And I'm not sure if this one has any guidance. For example, I want to take a picture, since it doesn't know what I'm trying to capture a picture of, I can see there may be a challenge in the way of a guidance. So I'm basically kind of maybe answering my own question here because I'm thinking about, hey, I want to have guidance to say, hey, okay, now you can shoot the picture or whatever. But since it is not something that is based on modes, for example, say, hey, I'm trying to take a capture text on a piece of paper, and I have this piece of paper in front of me, and I've switched to that text mode. Then, of course, it will give me that guidance when it sees all the four corners. So I guess I've answered my question in the sense that there's probably no need for guidance, but yet in the same breath, do you think you guys could put some guidance? Maybe I want to take a picture of something and to let me know when it's in view, but I guess that would have to come with the real-time mode, right? Basically, it would tell me what it sees, and if that's not what I want, then I move it till it gets to what I want, and then I take the picture, right? I think I sort of answer my question there.
Yes, and that's a great question, and that's a great developing part of the application right now, because we really work on the computer vision service in order to create a guidance, by the way, which means that actually it's basically based on the real time of your camera. So yes, we create a feature like this, and it is going to be launched on August right now. Your own digital guidance actually in the real time. Yeah.
Great. So maybe when you have it, then we could have Zülal come back again and talk about it, and then we go out and have a party thereafter, right?
Yes, it will be great, by the way, because we as I mentioned before, we analyze your data. For example, our main purpose is to create the most technological sites, most technological way for sites, by the way. So we analyze your, for example, the screen waiting data. we know that, for example, when you wait on your description screen, for example, in a couple minutes, actually in 2 minutes or 1 minute maybe, you need to, for example, recognize the colors of the objects, or you need to, for example, recognize the positions of the objects. We directly make a segmentation in our application, which means that in August, when you keep your camera, for example, to an object, when you wait 2 minutes, or maybe just seconds, actually, it is up to your preference, actually. For example, when you keep your camera in 7 seconds, maybe, you need to, for example, you try to get the descriptions with colors, or you, for example, need to get descriptions with mostly oriented with the positions, and it is going to be more unique and for maybe more individual sense, maybe. So it means that, by the way, when we keep our cameras together, let's think that to the same maybe scene or to the same maybe object or something like that, we are not going to get the same descriptions from the camera in the real time. It means that actually we are going to put an effort to the independent mobility part of it. Because, as you know, we need to, for example, spend our efforts by training in the independent mobility section sometimes. But by doing this, actually, especially the trainers in the independent mobility sections are not going to, for example, put an effort or, for example, training the individuals in the rooms or something like that, because artificial intelligence is going to do this. This is a near feature of the technology, because there are 330 million visually impaired users right now. And we talk about the autonomous cars or something like that, but we don't develop the technology for the visually impaired users in order to create the most technological and unique version of sites. I don't accept this because we need to train our technology based on our requirements right now without wasting times, maybe.
Thank you so much for that passion. I really like that passion, and that's why we got you on here, Zülal. Because
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
little did I know we were going to get a firebrand here, and absolutely, it's absolutely beautiful seeing you with all of that passion. And when someone has such a passion, we're in for a treat.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be with you guys and share my own app and my new technology with you, because we create a feature with our users. So we are going to create our technology with our users again. So I really know that we have so many founders of the applications who are the users of the application. So I really want to explain my main purpose and my own way. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Related to the development of the application, are you an app developer yourself, or you have a company and you have other app developers? What's the case about the development?
I am one of the app developers in my own app. Yes, I'm one of the developers at the same time, and I have also my own developers in my team actually at the same time. We develop our applications together. My main actually special field is image recognition because I was trained by Microsoft Turkey in order to become an employee of Microsoft, and then I give up to be, for example, an employee of Microsoft, and I build on my company. So I have for example, a good passion by developing the apps actually, especially based on the image recognition service. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful!
Thank you so much.
So I think I'll forgive Sally. I've been telling him to bring on a Turkish girl for our Android journey, and he hasn't been able to do that. And you coming
mission's
here,
complete. Yeah.
you coming on here is like 100 Turkish girls come on here. So you are truly a representative of the Turkish girls and Turkish people. And thank you for coming on here. And Sally, you have been freed from my obligation.
Well, that's great, because you said by the end of May. So
Yes. I gave
Well,
him till May 30th to bring a
yeah,
Turkish
and the
girl, because
mission's
we
complete.
haven't heard any Turkish girl, and so I gave him till May the 30th. And now, since you are here, Sally, you're forgiven. You're no more obligated to bringing on a Turkish girl to talk about her Android journey story. Well, we thank you so much for coming on, and I know we could go on, but of course we do realize it's getting late there in Turkey, and
Oh no, it doesn't matter.
a young lady may want to do some cooking, or dinner time or whatever.
I handle
uh,
this
yeah,
before the session.
mhm. Sally was talking about some of the kebab that he had the other week, and who knows? You might be making something like that, some great food. But we do want to thank you for coming on and representing from your eyes.
You're
And
welcome.
like I said, if anytime you want to come back, when you have something new, absolutely come back and let's talk about some of those improvements, because
Thank
our
you.
listeners would like to hear about those things. And
Thank you.
guys, how do people get in touch with you? You have a website, or could we just
Yeah.
reach you from the website included on the Play Store page of the app?
Yes. Actually, they can reach us from our website, which is fromrise.app, actually. And then also they can look at our website and they can find the downloading link on this. They can download our application from Play Store and the App Store, maybe, if we can say this.
There we go.
Yeah. What about my English, by the way? I have this question right now.
No, you are such a passionate speaker and absolutely beautiful English. And we thank you so much,
Really?
yeah, for
Thank you so
taking your
much.
time to come on. And all that, laughter, it just makes it all just beautiful. Thank you so much. I love it when people have passion about what they do. And you happen to be one of those developers. And that's encouraging to those of us who are users, because if the developer is not passionate about it, it's not going to translate to users, because you got to show that passion, that you really like what you're doing. And that's the case here. You really like what you're doing, and we're thankful for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your invitation as well.
Thank you.